Hey everyone, Selwyn here from Wynn. On this video, I'll be providing my final overall rating and review of the program formerly known as the Average to Savage 2.0 training program written by Greg Nuckols over at Stronger by Science. It's actually now known as the Stronger by Science program bundle. So this new renaming of the program has actually somehow meant that they've doubled the versatility of the program. There's actually 7 versions that you can complete as opposed to the 3 that you were able to complete before. So that's kind of a cool thing. Just by simply renaming an object, you get double the amount. So that's kind of awesome. But like usual, I'll leave links in the description below so you can check out exactly what the program entails, something you probably want to do after watching this video. The program was originally created by the temporary guest host of the Stronger by Science podcast, Greg Nuckols. He's done some great work whenever he appears on the podcast, as well as creating this really awesome workout template. So the Stronger by Science program bundle is a 21-week program with 7 different iterations to help you either build muscle or strength, and gives you a little bit of variety in order to achieve those goals. The program is split up into 3 7-week phases, 6 working weeks followed by 1 deload week 3 times. The movements are based around compound barbell movements, namely the squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, and rows. But with the flexibility of the program, you can modify those to however you would like if you have access to different types of equipment. Me being in the home gym means I'm pretty limited to what movements I can do. So this program fits quite nicely for someone who has access to limited equipment. So the program uses auto-regulation, which does help to adjust the loads based on weekly performance. So who is the program for? I would say this is a program geared towards people who either want to get stronger or build muscle, so a very vague statement there, but prefer to do this with a high percentage of compound barbell movements. But again, its flexibility does lend itself towards using pretty much any movement you would like to do. But again, keep that in mind. I would say it's definitely a great fit for powerlifters or power builders, definitely powerlifters who are in the off season wanting to build some muscle, and there is an iteration there for powerlifters to bring up your 1 rep max. So both occasions, if you're a powerlifter, this is definitely the program geared towards you. The versatility of the program also, I think, lends itself quite nicely to athletes who want to create an adjunct to their regular sports-specific training. So if you play basketball, rugby, football, soccer, the flexibility of the program allowing you to work out anywhere from 2 to 6 times a week, you'll find something in there that gels with your sport training as well as your lifestyle and schedule. Who isn't it for? It's probably not the best for like really new lifters, just because it is a pretty in-depth program. You might feel a little overwhelmed if you've never set foot in a gym before. They do have a novice variant of the program, which is included in the bundle, so that's kind of awesome. But it's probably also not the best program for people who compete in other barbell sports, namely like if you perform CrossFit or you're an Olympic weightlifter or even strongman training to a degree. It's not ideal because it's not really what it's geared toward. But again, if you did want to bring up your strength without any regard to what the sport of CrossFit required, you can definitely use this, plug that 2 times a week version in, and use this just sparingly on your off days. So let's start off with the pros of the program, which there are many. The insane value proposition for this program is in itself a reason to just go out, stop the video, click on that link below, and go check out the bundle because the template is amazing value. It starts at $10. You can give them a little bit more cash if you would like to, but the minimum cost of the program is going to be $10, very affordable, especially for the fact that you get 7 different flavors of the program. The program choices leave a lot of options available to you as a lifter and can easily adapt to just about any macros I could go, whether that be strength training or hypertrophy or something else for that matter. The second point is that Greg actually provides a really in-depth and detailed instruction manual that comes with the program, not only going over why he puts things where he does, why the program is structured the way it is, which in itself is worth $10 because there's a lot of awesome theory and concepts that go behind that to help you understand why you're doing the things you're doing, which will help you become a better lifter in the long run and just a more educated person going into the gym, which everyone kind of needs to be. It's always good to learn more about what you're doing, and it'll help you lift better, help you give advice to other people, as well as identify weaknesses in your own training that you might have been lacking in the past. But not only does it come with that, it comes with detailed instructions as to how to modify the program. So he does go over how you can customize this program to suit your needs exactly how you would like. And depending on how deep you want to dive into modifying Excel spreadsheets, you can either do nothing and do the program as it's given to you, or you can dive in as much as you want and really get into the bones of the program and pretty much change everything to create your own customized workout plan. So not only is it very flexible in terms of your 7 different varieties to choose from, within each of those programs, it is very flexible. So you get the choice of working out either 2 times a week or 6 times a week, which pretty much covers everything except for working out once a week. Probably don't want to do that. Or working out every single day of the week. Again, probably something you don't want to do. So those 2 fringe cases are probably left out for a reason. I personally went with a 3 or 4 times a week training frequency over the course of the 21 weeks. And it doesn't really change how your progress, it doesn't really affect your progress, because the way it divides up and reallocates your exercises over the course of the week is quite nice. You don't have to do anything other than select the different tab and enter in your weights again. Super simple way to set the spreadsheet up, which is really fantastic. So not only do you get flexibility with your training frequency, you get flexibility with the different movements you want to do. Again, how deep you want to dive into this. You can put in any sort of movement you want. So that makes it a great way to tailor the program to your specific needs and even your specific training if you're training for a specific sport and have sport-specific movements that you like to do. You can also go in and change the set rep structure as well. So now we're kind of just diverging away from the default program. But again, the versatility of the program allows you to change pretty much anything out of the program, and you can change the weekly volume targets, how much the weight changes week to week depending on each specific movement. So if you know that your squat responds really well to this type of volume, but your deadlift responds quite well to a different type of volume, you can plug that in. So you're not doing the same volume for both the squat and the deadlift, which is the default setting. You can go in there and customize that so the squat and the deadlift and the bench all have different volumes based on how you perform as a lifter. So that's an incredible way to tailor the program to really dial this down into your personalized training program. And yes, so that's really great for people that are experienced and who just enjoy tinkering around in their training program, tinkering around in learning about things, tinkering around in spreadsheets. If you're a beginner or a novice, I don't really care for that. It might seem a bit overwhelming, but again, you don't have to change anything at all. So it might seem daunting to go in and change stuff. You don't have to. Just stick with the basic default settings and you're going to get a great training stimulus, great training progression. I performed the entire first phase without any modifications. So for my own personal results, I noticed that first phase was more of an adaptation period where you didn't really see a lot of results in terms of performance progress, but you were definitely building towards something. Phase 2 was kind of a flat line. It felt like a plateau. Nothing much was happening, but I wasn't really regressing in terms of performance. And finally, in that third and final phase was where all of that work started to pay off week after week. So advancements in training, advancements in progress, and what felt like I was getting stronger for those 6 weeks at the end. So again, I think it was a great program in terms of results. So I think it does drive out some really good results. But you do have to stick to that full 21-week structure in order to get the optimal outcome from this program, because I think each phase is building up to something better in the way that it's structured, and the rests, the volume, the weight prescriptions, all of that kind of works as a unit. You can't really do one phase. So I would highly recommend against just performing one phase, not seeing any results and stopping. Highly recommend performing all 21 weeks. So there's a couple of features about the auto regulation that I quite liked. It's kind of a 2-part process where you have your daily volume targets, and based on whether you meet those targets or exceed them or don't meet them will affect next week's weight recommendations. So it's kind of a lagging indicator, which I'll address in the cons a bit later, which yes is a con because you can't easily change your daily weight. I think it's a nice way that the program is able to auto-regulate stress over the course of the entire program rather than just on a really micro-bit daily basis. The other factor that I liked with the auto regulation, with the default settings anyway, is that there weren't any wild swings with the weight changing over the course of the week. So it's a very smooth process of weight changing. Whereas if left to your own devices, you can have quite significant jumps in weight if you let yourself kind of self-auto regulate, which is in itself not a problem. But if you are trying to smooth that curve out, so to speak, because the weight is fixed and based on your previous week's volume achievements, you're not really changing the weights. You're really looking at how you can affect the volume and the total number of reps that you do that each week to meet those metrics. And because of that, you're kind of playing in this nice weight range where you're really only changing weights each week by a couple of percentage points. So you're not really losing too much ground, as it were, if you don't feel that great in the previous week. And if you feel really great, you're not going to overshoot stress. You're kind of capped. It's kind of bracketing you in this range where you can't overshoot stress or undershoot stimulus. And that's why progress takes about 15 weeks to achieve, because we're bracketing ourselves into this progress. But once you hit that progress, it's solid all the way through. You're not having these wild swings in performance metrics week to week. You're kind of just bracketing up slowly, but surely you're getting there, which is really awesome. So that being said, let's move on to the cons. There's not too many. First off being that really minor, it lacks built-in performance graphs and other metrics that kind of look nice, but if, again, just dig into the spreadsheet, you can create those yourself. And for the value, I don't really expect that out of a $10 program. But that's one thing that it is lacking. I'm trying to find some cons here. Give me a break. The final con would be that it lacks a easy way to change your workout weights on a weekly basis. So you're really left with going into the structure and changing the weights, the weight recommendations week to week, because each week is built upon the previous week's performance in terms of weight and in terms of sets and reps. So in order to change that weight for this week, you have to change a little bit more than just changing a number in the spreadsheet. You have to dive in a little bit into the formulas. So the way around that is that you simply stick with the weight prescription and then just adjust the volume to how much energy you're feeling that day. And then the following week, that's when that adjustment happens. So you kind of have this lagging auto regulation, but I found personally that helped quite a lot. So let's move on to the results, something that's probably going to be the most crucial part of the program. If you followed along with my training vlog over the last 21 weeks, you notice that phase 1 kind of sucked. A lot of regressions, not really meeting the volume targets. Phase 2, we were kind of treading water, so to speak. We were just hitting those rep targets, but I felt quite fatigued over the course of those 6 weeks. But then in that third and final phase, that's where all those adaptations kind of made ahead. We saw week-to-week progress. We saw week-to-week gains in the volume targets. We're exceeding some volume targets on a lot of the main lifts. I felt mentally fresh. I didn't feel too, there was no real fatigue carrying itself through to each training session. So each training session felt great week to week for a full 6 weeks. So that's kind of amazing. Usually, by the end of that 6 weeks, you kind of feel a little bit beat down, especially in that first and second phase. But with this third phase, up until the end, feeling very energetic, feeling great both physically and mentally around the program. And I think that's where that stress mitigation, that auto regulation comes in play really, really well. It keeps you advancing very steadily over the course of those 21 weeks. So to account for that first phase of lack of results, I think it came down to 2 big points. First off is that I haven't really done a lot of high rep training in the year preceding, and that is accounted for in the instructions. So read the instructions and follow them. Greg does recommend that if you haven't done this high amount of volume in the past or in recent training, to step down your 1 rep max calculations at the start of the program. I didn't listen to that. So my progress might have been a lot better from the get-go if I listened to that and changed those weights. But here we are. I still made progress while entering in the wrong information at the start of the program. And that just shows you how the program does manage to auto-regulate. So what I'll do is I'll throw over to some really exciting spreadsheet graphs just so we can see exactly how phase 1, 2, and 3 went in terms of estimated 1 rep max performance over the course of the last 21 weeks. So what you notice over these next 4 slides is that, and you'll see the first phase is that decrease. The second phase kind of starts with a decrease and levels off a little bit. And then in that third and final phase, we definitely see that increase in the 1 rep max training. And I think, again, that just iterates how good the program is at deriving results, but over those 21-week time frame. And something that I've been paying more attention to is the mental side of working out. So I think something that people tend to overlook with judging a program is how mentally excited you are about doing that program. A little bit less objective and a bit more subjective in nature. If you don't enjoy working out, then I think that's a big flaw in the program, especially if you've been working out for a couple of years or you have a couple of months of training. You kind of know what you like and dislike around training, and to go into the gym and not look forward to it is something that really shouldn't be done. So in terms of that mental excitement around the program, for the full 21 weeks, I was excited to train pretty much each and every day around the program. Even I might have been fatigued just because of lack of sleep or a busy schedule or other things like that. But when it came to the training itself and looking forward to it, that didn't change throughout the entire 21 weeks. There wasn't a time where I felt like I was over the program. I didn't feel like I wish the program had finished. With the way the progress was happening, we saw week-to-week gains in that third and final phase. My mental excitement around entering the gym each day was awesome because I could see the progress being realized each and every week. Flexibility of the program, I think, helped a lot. I think that the weekly undulating periodization just changes up the daily workouts just enough to keep you wanting to go back. But then because there's 3 phases, I opted to change up the movements every 7 weeks. So we had 3 different sets of movements that we were doing, which again kept that excitement and enthusiasm around the program quite high throughout the entire 21 weeks. The program also includes an option to kind of do an AMRAP for that final set, which again adds to that ability to test yourself week to week. And again, that does help with keeping that mental excitement about the program quite high because it gives you a little tiny way to test yourself and test your performance each week. In terms of physique, I did have the overall goal of weight loss, but not a lot of weight loss. At the start of the program, I weighed around 210 to 215 pounds. And at the end of the workout, as it stands today, I'm hovering around 198 to 200 pounds. So right around a 10 to 15 pound weight loss, depending on the day on average. I personally, that was my goal for the program. So again, not a huge weight loss that I was shooting for, just a slight minor change in weight. And that helped. So the first phase was maintenance, second phase was weight loss. And then the third phase, kind of a personal issue of mine where once I lose some weight, I kind of take that foot off the gas pedal and the diet starts to slip a little bit. So third phase turned into more of a maintenance mode and a slight bit of weight gain. So we did hit around 196 to 195 pounds in phase 2, and that kind of went back up to 198 to 200 pounds for that final week. Again, not really for the program, more of a mental flaw of mine when it comes to weight loss and weight management, something I'll be working on in the long run, as we all have to kind of do, is to just get that little bit better each and every day. Here is a before and after video. I only remember to do one before and one after. Not a huge change in terms of physique change. I didn't dial down the diet as it could have been. I wasn't completely focused on getting my macros 100% right. I just wanted to eat a little bit less and drop a little bit of weight and get a little bit stronger over the course of 20 weeks. And I think the physique reflects that. So the pants feeling a little bit looser around the waist, which is awesome. Same with the shirts, a little bit tighter around the shoulders, which is kind of nice to see. Finally, here's the overall rating and review, something you've all been waiting for on the edge of your seats, because I'm pretty sure I haven't spoiled it by now. My overall rating would place this program pretty much a 9.5 out of 10. It's pretty much the perfect program. Again, there's few minor cons, which I don't think shouldn't stop you from getting this program, especially at that cost factor. Even if this program cost you $40, it is well worth that $40 price range, but it only costs you $10. So again, check out the link below and highly recommend checking out the program. Definitely get it and support the guys over at Stronger by Science because they put out some amazing work. So I don't think you can beat the program in terms of the value, the versatility, and the results you're going to get from it. So that'll wrap up the video series regarding the Average to Savage 2.0 or the Stronger by Science program bundle. That'll wrap up this training vlog, this training series. Thank you for tuning in if you've watched it for the entire season, as it were. So stay tuned in the coming weeks where I'm going to be shifting over to some strength focused training. Let's try and build up that 1 rep max with this new muscle mass that I found. Be sure to check out the playlist up here so you can catch up on all of those previous episodes, and you can see just how the progress has changed week to week and how much this program has been able to change my lifting and get me a little bit stronger over this last 21 weeks. So this has been Selwyn from Wynn Strength. Thank you very much for watching this training vlog series about the Average to Savage 2.0 training program. I really appreciate the support and all the positive comments you leave in all the videos. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on my future training vlog series. And remember, a better life through strength. So there's a couple of features about the